The screwdriver slipped from my trembling hands, clanging onto the wooden floor of my attic workshop. I'd been wrestling with a broken chair for hours, my fingers stiff from years of tinkering, but my mind was elsewhere, on my daughter, Emily, who died at 35 in a car crash caused by a reckless driver. The call came at 3:04 a.m., a police officer's voice slicing through the quiet, shattering my world. I'm Evelyn, 65, and I never imagined I'd outlive my only child. The funeral parlor smelled of roses and bleach, a sterile haze that made my stomach churn. I sat alone in the front row, staring at Emily's closed casket, her vibrant spirit reduced to a polished box. My daughter-in-law, Laura, stood nearby in a sleek black dress that screamed money. Probably more than I spent on utilities in a year. She'd been married to Emily for 6 years, and I'd tried to build a bond with her. Baking her favorite apple pies, slipping them cash when Emily's freelance graphic design gigs dried up, even helping furnish their apartment. I thought we were family, despite the occasional sharp comment or cold glance. After the service, as mourners drifted away, Laura cornered me in the dim hallway. "You pushed her too hard," she hissed, her voice low so only I could hear. "Your endless nagging about her career stressed her out. Maybe that's why she was speeding that night." Her words hit like a fist to the chest. Emily, my bright girl who texted me daily with silly memes, stressed by me? The idea was unthinkable, yet it burrowed into my heart. We lived together in my modest house on Cedar Lane, a small 2-story I'd bought after my divorce 20 years ago. Emily and Laura had moved in 3 years back when city rents soared, and Laura never hid her disdain for my faded curtains and creaky floors. It was my home, though, filled with memories of Emily's childhood. Her finger paintings on the fridge, her bike in the garage. That night, in her old room, I ran my fingers over her childhood sketches, the paper yellowed but precious. Laura appeared in the doorway, her eyes hard as flint. "You need to leave," she said. "This house is full of pain, and I can't grieve with you hovering." "This is my home," I said, my voice shaking. "I've lived here for decades." "Emily paid the bills," Laura snapped. "She owned it, so now it's mine." She held up papers, claiming Emily had transferred the deed to her name. My heart raced. I kept my documents in a lockbox, but when I checked, the deed was gone. "Be out by Monday," she said, her voice cold as the February wind. With $300, 2 suitcases, and a tote bag, I left. Laura watched from the porch, arms crossed, offering no help, no goodbye. At 65, I was homeless in Willow Park, where I'd once pushed Emily on the swings. I slept on benches, clutching my purse, jumping at every rustle. Footsteps, animals, or worse. The first night taught me how cruel the world could be to the invisible. I washed in public restrooms, splashing icy water on my face, trying to tame my gray hair with a cracked comb. My clothes grew grimy, my once careful makeup routine reduced to smudged lipstick from a broken tube. People's eyes slid past me, mothers tugging children away, shopkeepers shooing me from doorways. I tried a shelter on Pine Street, but the wait list was weeks long. A weary social worker sighed. "Try back later. You're not the only one." I learned to survive. A coffee bought me hours in a diner, and I scavenged day-old bagels from bakery dumpsters. Hunger erased pride. But the worst was the isolation. I'd become a ghost, unseen by the world I'd once been part of. 2 weeks later, I sat on my park bench, feeding sparrows with stale bread. Laura's laugh cut through the air. She strode over with a friend, both carrying boutique bags. "Enjoying life with the rats?" she taunted, snapping a photo with her phone. "Emily said you were a burden, always clinging." Her words burned, but a flicker of hope sparked when she mentioned a will reading. "Wednesday 1 p.m., she sneered, tossing a lawyer's card at my feet. "Try to look less pathetic." I used the library sink to wash, a kind librarian slipping me shampoo and a towel. "For our patrons," she said softly. At Carter & Son's sleek downtown office, I sat in a leather chair, feeling like an intruder. Laura arrived, polished in a tailored suit, her perfume sharp. "You smell like the street," she muttered, sitting 2 seats away. "Mr. Carter," the lawyer began. Emily's estate was meager. A $15,000 car, a $2,800 bank account, and $30,000 in debts. Credit cards, loans, hospital bills from a sprained ankle last year. Laura's face fell. She'd expected a windfall. "What about the house?" she demanded. "It's mine," I said, sliding my deed across the table. Paid off in 2010. Emily never owned it. I'd found the real deed tucked in an old photo album. She helped with utilities, but it's always been mine. Mr. Cotter nodded. This is legitimate. I handed him an eviction notice. Laura, you have 30 days to leave. You can't, she gasped, her composure cracking. I can, I said. You threw me out, mocked me while I starved. Emily wouldn't want you here. Laura's voice shook. Emily knew you were hiding money. She found bank statements 6 months ago. My stomach dropped. Emily had discovered my secret. $2.5 million from my late husband's investments, hidden to keep our bond pure. Laura claimed Emily worried I'd let someone exploit me, but she'd never told me. She said you were too soft, Laura added. Get out, I said, my voice steady. Laura fled, clutching her bag. I returned home, the key turning smoothly in the lock. Laura had redecorated. My mother's quilt replaced by a garish throw, my kitchen cluttered with receipts for a $6,000 sofa. I sat at the table where Emily once drew, reclaiming my space. 6 months later, I stood in my renovated lakeside cabin, now a sanctuary for elderly cats. 10 unadoptable cats, gray-muzzled, slow, lounged in sunny spots, purring as volunteers fed them. My investments, apartments, a strip mall, a warehouse, flourished, but the cats didn't care about my wealth. They wanted warmth, food, love. Laura faced fraud charges for trying to use my identity for loans, her park photos now evidence against her. The detective showed me forged applications where she claimed I had dementia, banking on my helplessness. As I stroked Lila, a 14-year-old tabby, I felt peace. Emily had loved me, not my money. She'd seen through Laura's greed, protecting me in her silence. My sanctuary was her legacy, a haven for the forgotten, where I'd found my purpose.